What's going on, everyone? We are back in the garage, and today we are talking about the GT73. While I had it all apart, I figured it'd be a perfect time to make a parts breakdown video, going over all the ins and outs parts. I get questions all the time, TikTok, Instagram, wherever, even here, asking where I got the parts. Let's dive in. Welcome back to eMotion TV, and we're talking about the GT73. All right, so coming in first, we'll start with the brains of the operation, the FAR driver 72450. Moving on from the FAR driver, we'll get up here to the other few key ingredients that I get from Econic Cycles. We have the upgraded throttle, voltmeter, key ignition switch combo, 3-speed switch, see if I can get down in here with this tripod, and then lastly the display. It is the Chowji 3.13 inch, and again, this will all be linked in the description with my discount code. I like it, it's minimalistic, has a good fair bit of information on it that it does tell you, and let me get you guys a shot of that now. All right, let's get the display on. Catch up. Let's see if you guys can see it. There are a few pages here that you can input through your FAR driver, battery stuff. Man, the lighting in here is not beneficial to you guys seeing this. But there's some good settings in here that I haven't really fiddled with, I'm not gonna lie, besides dialing in the mile per hour thing and the RPM. All right, and moving on from the display that we can halfway see, halfway can't, we'll talk quickly and briefly about the throttle. I believe they use upgraded magnets. We have the key switch and voltmeter. We're on 72 volts, so it's reading 83, which is 95% charge. And then the 3-speed switch, it comes with the bundle, which is the throttle, voltmeter, key switch, and the 3-speed switch. It comes pre-wired for your FAR drivers. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just plug it in and take advantage of it. You're looking to get this type of stuff for your GT73, for your Ridstar, for your whatever kind of basic, cheaper hub motor bike. These are the guys I'd go with. So if you're not a wiring expert, which I am not, everything comes pre-wired. They make it so simple. Let's see if you guys can even see it over here in the dark. They send beautiful wiring diagrams with words that tell you how to hook the stuff up. Into everybody's hot topic of what hub motor do you get? Which one do you have? Which one do you recommend? I haven't used that many. The stock hub motor for these GT73s blow up, so I wouldn't recommend that one. But NB Power, I will link it here. They have great customer service. They're who I'd recommend. This is the QS205 with their supplied tire on it. I think it was 600 bucks. This is the 3.5T fast top speed, less torque on the low end. They also have a 5T version. High torque, not so much top speed. I watched a couple YouTube videos on it. I think they get in the 40s on a 72 volt. You know, whatever fits your needs. If you're here for GT73 specific information, something to think about is this offset right here for your brake rotor, but the caliper sits farther over substantially. But I just used a longer bolt with some washers and a generous amount of thread locker. All right, and you know why we're here, and I have it strapped down to the beautiful car jack over there. We'll do a couple pulls for the tube. This display is relatively accurate. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you up here on a display on the first one, and I'm gonna set the mic over by hub motor areas. And then this is going to be the one from zoomed out, and then we're going to get back into the parts on the bike.
Uh-oh.
So the last thing, powertrain wise on the bike, is this beautiful 72 volt battery from Bicycle Motor Works. This bad boy has Molicel P45B cells in it. I chose them over Samsung cells because I watched a couple of YouTube videos that just said they have a better output, basically, in layman's terms we'll call it. I believe that these run at 180 phase amps. This bad boy will set you back about $900. Probably the last upgrade I would do on a build, just because it's the most costly, and it was the last one I did on this build. With that being said, I get a ton of questions all the time asking, if I don't do the battery and I do the other upgrades, how fast can we go? And my answer to that is about 42 to 45, depending on rider and wind and what type of bike you have this on. Another question I get all the time, do I keep my factory headlight and taillight? Unfortunately, when you go to a far driver, as far as I am concerned, I'm gonna say no. I'm sure you can with all those extra wires over here. Wire in a headlight and a taillight. Do I know how to do that? Nope, not yet. So what I can tell you is I went to Amazon, I bought a rechargeable wireless headlight. I will show you some of that now. This is just one light on in the garage. Turn this other light off. So I mean, I've used it a couple times at nighttime. It's not the worst. It's brighter than the stock headlight is. It has a couple of different brightness settings. I think I usually run it on this one because it's only 3 bulbs, uses less battery. I think that's 2, I think that's all of them. So as far as a headlight, I feel like that's the cheapest, easiest option. It still uses the factory handlebar clamps. Cheap, easy fix. I think that ran me about 38 bucks on Amazon. The other thing I get asked about is a taillight, and I totally agree. You need a taillight for safety. So this is the taillight that I chose. This again is a wireless unit, and this one's actually pretty cool. It comes with a remote that mounts to your handlebars. This is the handlebar mounted remote, we'll call it. It has a couple of different features. You can do like a sequential taillight, and it'll just blink while you ride. You can do whatever this is. You can do all of that good stuff. I think it was like 20 bucks again off of Amazon. You can't beat that. Gives you taillight options. I charged it once when I first got it, and it's been on the bike for 2 months now, and I haven't charged it since. Cheap, easy fix. All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this one. This was the breakdown on the GT73, and really a lot of these parts are what we'll call universal, and you can use it on your e-bike too. Doesn't have to be this one. But if you're here for the GT73s, this is my recommended setup for hitting about 60. I tapped over 62 on the Speedo, so if you're trying to get around those speeds on this type of bike for around sub $3,000, this is the way to go. Again, I will have links for everything in the description. Far driver, throttle, key switch voltmeter, 3-speed display, battery and hub motor, and I'll go ahead and throw these ones off of Amazon in there as well if that sounds like something you might like for your bike. If you guys need anything, feel free to reach out in the comments. And until next time, we will see you later.